La di, some of y'all sitting at home, or maybe even riding in your car right now, wondering, if this man loves me so much, why won't he marry me? You've been with him for years. You've built a life together in everything except the legal papers. You've shared moments, louder, maybe even a home, and you keep thinking, we're so happy, so why hasn't he put a ring on my finger? Let me tell you something about men, and I want you to really hear this. Because if you don't understand it now, you'll waste years waiting for something that might never come. Love alone doesn't always equal marriage. A man can love you with all his heart, enjoy your company, take care of you when you're sick, talk to you every day, even introduce you to his family, and still never see himself walking down the aisle with you. That's a hard truth, but it's a truth you need to know. See, love is an emotion. It's powerful, yes, but marriage is a decision. It's a commitment that says, I'm done looking, I'm done searching, I'm ready to build my life with you and only you. And here's the difference: emotions can exist without decisions. A man can feel love but still not make the choice to commit for life. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Sometimes a man won't marry you because he's just not ready. And ladies, let me be clear, readiness for marriage has very little to do with how amazing you are. I've seen men pass up phenomenal women simply because they weren't in the place mentally, financially, or emotionally to take that step. And then a year later, they marry somebody else. Why? Timing. The timing was right for them then, but not when they were with you. And sometimes it's not even about timing. It's about comfort. You've made his life so easy that he doesn't feel the need to change anything. You're giving him all the benefits of a wife, cooking for him, loving him, being his emotional support, maybe even living together without him having to make it official. And ladies, I've got to tell you, if a man can have everything without the responsibility, he's going to stay right there. Why would he change the arrangement when it's working for him? That's just human nature. Here's another truth that stings. Sometimes a man knows deep down that you're not his forever match. Now, he might care about you. He might not want to hurt you, but inside, he knows he doesn't see a lifelong future with you. And instead of being honest and letting you go, he keeps you around because you're important to him in the present. But you're looking at him as your future. That's where the heartbreak begins. Because while you're waiting for him to change his mind, he's already made it up. Men marry for three main reasons. First, the timing is right in their life. They're stable, they've experienced enough to know what they want, and they're ready to settle down. Second, they've met the person they cannot imagine losing. The thought of life without her is unbearable. Third, they feel they're in the right space mentally and emotionally to handle the responsibility of marriage. If any of those pieces are missing, it's unlikely he's going to move forward, no matter how much love there is. I've seen too many women waste their prime years waiting for a man to come around. They think, we've been together this long, marriage has to be next. But that's not how it works. You could be together for 5, 7, 10 years, and if he's not ready, you'll still be sitting there with nothing but memories. And worse, sometimes after all that time, he turns around, meets someone else, and proposes to her in a matter of months. Not because she's better, but because she came along at the right time when he was ready. Ladies, you've got to stop thinking that your love, your patience, your loyalty will automatically earn you a ring. Relationships are not reward systems. You don't get marriage just because you've been there the longest. You get marriage when you're with a man who's ready and willing to give it to you. And if that's not happening, you've got to decide how long you're willing to wait. I know you love him. I know you've built so much together. I know walking away feels like tearing your own heart out. But sometimes protecting your future means making the tough choice now. You can't let your fear of starting over keep you locked in a situation that's not moving forward. Time is the one thing you can't get back. Every year you wait for him to decide, you're losing time that you could be building a life with someone who's already sure about you. You deserve a man who not only says he loves you, but shows it through action. Action that says, I want you to be my wife. I want to stand before God and everybody and make it official. Anything less than that is just words. And words without action will keep you stuck in a cycle of hope and disappointment. So here's the real question. Are you willing to keep giving your all to a man who's not giving you the one thing you truly want? Or are you ready to stand up for yourself, set your standard and say, if you love me and you want me, you're going to have to make me your wife. If you can't, then you're not the man for me. That's not an ultimatum. That's knowing your worth. A man who truly loves you and is ready will not risk losing you. He won't drag his feet. He won't keep you guessing, and he sure won't make you feel like you're asking for too much. The right man will see marrying you not as a burden, but as an honor. You know, sometimes in life you find yourself with a man who swears up and down that he loves you. He says it every morning, every night, and sometimes in between. He treats you good, makes you laugh, and tells you you're the best thing that ever happened to him. But when you bring up marriage, the room gets quiet. He changes the subject. He says, babe, what's the rush? Or, we're fine the way we are. And deep down, that starts to eat at you because you're wondering, if he loves me this much, why won't he marry me? Let me break something down for you. Love by itself is not the same as commitment. A man can love you and still not make the choice to marry you. And it's not always because he's a bad man. Sometimes it's because he's not ready for the responsibility. Sometimes it's because he's not in the place in life where he wants to lock it all in. And sometimes it's because he's comfortable right where he is, and you've made it too easy for him to stay there. Men are very strategic about marriage. Most men won't take that step unless certain boxes in their mind are checked. Now, you might have checked the I love her box, but what about the I'm ready for marriage box? Those are two different things. Love is emotional. It's about how you make him feel. Marriage is a decision. It's about whether he's ready to take on the role of a husband and everything that comes with it. And let me tell you, if that second box isn't checked, you could be with him 10 years and never see a ring. I've seen men marry women they've known for a few months while leaving the woman they dated for years without ever proposing. And when that happens, the woman who waited is left saying, I don't understand. I gave him everything. Why her? It's because when he met her, he was ready. It wasn't about her being better. It was about the timing in his life. See men marry when they're ready, not when they're in love. And here's something else you've got to hear. Sometimes he doesn't marry you because he already has everything from you that marriage would give him. You cook, you clean, you support him, you give him your body, your time, your loyalty, and you do it all without him ever having to make it official. In his mind, why change the arrangement? He's got the benefits without the commitment. And you might say, well, he's not like that. But I'm telling you, even the nicest, most loving men fall into that comfort zone if you let them. Now, there's another hard truth. Sometimes he knows deep inside that you're not the one he wants to spend the rest of his life with. He cares for you. He respects you. He may even love you, but he doesn't see you as his forever. And because he doesn't want to lose you right now, he stays. But his future, he's not picturing it with you. That's why you can be together for years and still the topic of marriage feels like a wall you can't break through. Men marry for 3 big reasons. First, the timing is right. His career, his mindset, his finances, and his sense of self all line up. Second, he's found the woman he can't stand to lose. Not just the one he loves, but the one whose absence would make his life feel empty. Third, he feels capable of handling the responsibility because marriage isn't just about the wedding day, it's about the life after. If any of those reasons are missing, marriage won't happen. You have to understand this so you can protect your time. Time is precious. Every year you invest in a man who has no plans of marrying you is a year you could have spent with someone who's ready right now. You think, we've been together so long, marriage is inevitable. But it's not. Length of time together doesn't guarantee marriage. Readiness and willingness do. And I know you might be thinking, but I love him. I don't want to start over. I get it. Walking away from someone you love is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But you have to ask yourself, what do you want more, him or the life you've dreamed of? Because if he's not willing to give you that life, staying with him is choosing his comfort over your future. Ladies, a man who truly loves you and is ready for marriage will not let you slip away. He won't risk losing you to another man. He won't keep you in limbo while he figures it out. He will make his intentions clear and take action to secure you. And the right man will see marrying you not as a trap or a burden, but as the best decision he could ever make. You've got to be willing to set a standard. If marriage is what you want, you can't be afraid to say, "This is what I'm looking for." That's not an ultimatum. That's clarity. And clarity is power. If he's the right man, that conversation will move him closer to making it happen. If he's not the right man, it will make it clear sooner so you can stop wasting your time. The bottom line is this: if a man loves you but won't marry you, it's not always about you. It's about him, his readiness, and what he's willing to do. You can't force it. You can't love him into it, and you can't wait him into it. He has to want it, and he has to be ready to do it. And if he's not, then you have a decision to make. Stay in love with someone who's not moving toward your future, or take the leap and open the door for the man who will. You know, sometimes love can be the most beautiful thing and still be the most confusing. You meet a man and he makes you feel like the only woman in the world. He tells you he loves you. He treats you like a queen. He makes you laugh. He protects you. He checks on you. And in your heart, you know the love is real. But then there's this one thing: he won't marry you. And you can't understand it. Because if the love is there, if the bond is there, if the connection is this strong, why can't he take that step? The truth is, love and marriage don't always ride in the same car. They can exist separately. A man can love you with all his heart, but that doesn't mean he's ready, willing, or planning to marry you. And a lot of women get stuck right there, in that in-between place where your heart is full but your future feels uncertain. Sometimes the reason has nothing to do with you not being enough. In fact, a lot of the time it has everything to do with where he is in life. Men think differently about marriage than women do. Women often think about it as the natural next step when love is real. But for a man, marriage is a decision that comes when he feels ready in every area, emotionally, financially, mentally, spiritually. If even one of those pieces feels off to him, he'll stall. And then there are men who simply aren't in a rush because they're already comfortable. You love him. You show up for him. You cook. You take care of him when he's sick. You're there when he's stressed. You give him intimacy. You're loyal. In his mind, he already has the life of a married man without the papers, without the vows, without the ring. And here's the part that's hard to hear. When someone's already getting all the benefits without the commitment, there's no urgency to make a change. But then there's another reason that cuts deep. Sometimes deep down, a man knows you're not the person he sees himself with forever. And that's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're not his vision of forever. It's a truth most men won't say out loud because they don't want to hurt you. So they stay because they love you now. But while you're building dreams for a lifetime, he's living for the moment. And that difference will show itself in his actions or in the lack of action. I've seen women give years of their life to a man who, in the back of his mind, already knew marriage wasn't going to happen. And when those years are gone, she's left with a broken heart and a question she can't shake. Why didn't he just tell me? But here's the thing. He didn't tell you because he didn't want to lose what you were giving him right now. And as long as you were willing to stay, he was willing to let things keep going just as they were. Men marry for very specific reasons. They marry when the timing is right, when they've reached a place where they're ready to settle down for real. They marry when they've met the woman they simply cannot imagine losing. And they marry when they feel capable, when they believe they can be the kind of man a husband should be. If any of those things are missing, they'll keep putting it off. And you could be sitting there thinking it's just not yet. But in his mind, it's never. That's why you have to be honest with yourself about what you want. If marriage is important to you, you can't keep pretending that love without commitment is enough when deep down you know it's not. You have to ask yourself how long you're willing to wait. Because the more years you give to a man who's not moving forward, the less time you have to find the man who will. And listen, I know that's scary. I know it's hard to imagine walking away from someone you love. I know the thought of starting over feels exhausting, but staying in a situation that's not going anywhere is exhausting too. Only that exhaustion doesn't lead to the life you dreamed of. The man who's ready for you, the man who truly sees you as his forever, won't need years to decide. He'll know, and he'll act on that knowing. When a man is ready and he knows you're the one, he doesn't keep you guessing. He doesn't have you wondering where this is going. He makes it clear, not just with his words, but with his actions. He'll make plans for a future with you. And those plans will have timelines, not just some days. That's why you can't be afraid to set a standard. A standard is not a threat. It's a boundary. It's saying, this is the life I want, and I won't accept less. And if he's truly your man, if he's truly ready, that standard won't scare him away. It'll push him to step up. But if it does scare him away, then he was never going to give you what you wanted anyway. And that's not a loss. That's freedom. Love is beautiful, but love without direction will have you stuck. You deserve a love that leads somewhere, that builds into a life together, that stands on more than feelings alone. Because feelings can fade, but real commitment is a choice that stays. The right man will not only love you, he will choose you, claim you, and make sure the whole world knows you're his wife. Anything less, no matter how good it feels in the moment, is not the life you deserve. Let me just go on and say it, because some of y'all been sitting in the same spot for years, and you need to hear the truth. If a man loves you but won't marry you, there's a reason. And it's not a mystery. It's not complicated. It's not some secret code you gotta figure out. It's because he doesn't want to. Point blank. Men do what they want to do. If a man wants to marry you, he will. Period. Now, I know you're gonna tell me, Steve, he loves me. I know he does. He tells me every day. He's good to me. We've been together forever. And I'm not saying he doesn't love you. I'm saying love ain't the same thing as commitment. A man can love you and still not be willing to step into the role of a husband. And if he's been with you long enough to know you, long enough to share a bed, long enough to eat your cooking and call you his woman, then trust me, he's had enough time to know whether he wants to marry you or not. Men marry when they are ready. Ready financially, ready mentally, ready emotionally. And here's the part you really need to understand. Readiness ain't about you. You can be the perfect woman. And if he's not in the place in his life where he wants to settle down, you won't change that. And if he is ready, he could meet somebody tomorrow and marry her in 6 months. Why? Because she came along when he was ready, not because she's better than you. Some of y'all got men who are too comfortable. You're giving him everything, your love, your loyalty, your body, your time, your energy, your patience. And you're doing it without a ring, without a date, without a plan. He's got all the benefits of a husband without the paperwork, without the vows, without the commitment. And you wonder why he's not moving. Why would he? You already gave him everything he would after marriage. So there's no incentive for him to change the situation. And let's just keep it all the way real. Sometimes a man knows you're not the one he wants forever. That doesn't mean you're not valuable. That doesn't mean you're not amazing. It just means he doesn't see a lifetime with you. And instead of telling you that, he stays. Because you're good for right now. Because you meet his needs today. Because he likes the way things are. And as long as you keep showing up, he'll keep letting it ride. I've watched women give the best years of their life to a man who had no plan of marrying them. And when he finally walks away, she's left broken, asking herself why she wasn't enough. Baby, you were enough. He just wasn't willing. There's a difference. Being enough has nothing to do with it. His willingness to commit is about him, not you. Men marry for 3 reasons: timing, fear of loss, and readiness for responsibility. The timing's got to be right in his life. He's got to believe you're the one he cannot stand to lose. And he's got to feel like he's ready to step into the role of a husband. If one of those 3 is missing, it's not happening. And here's the thing. You don't have to wait around for him to figure it out. If marriage is what you want, you have every right to make that clear. And I don't mean hint at it. I mean look him in the eye and say, this is where I'm headed. Are you headed there with me? If the answer isn't a clear yes, then you have your answer. Don't let love blind you to the fact that time is slipping away. Ladies, you've got to understand something. A man who truly loves you and wants to marry you will not let you stay in limbo. He will move toward making you his wife because the thought of losing you will be too much to bear. He will take the steps. He will make the plans. You won't have to beg. You won't have to pressure. You won't have to cry about it. But if you've been waiting years and nothing's changing, You need to stop telling yourself it's just not the right time. If he's buying cars, taking trips, upgrading his lifestyle, and still telling you he's not ready, let me translate that for you. He's not ready with you. That's the part you don't want to hear, but that's the truth. You've got to decide if you want love that stays in neutral or love that drives forward. Because love without a future plan is just a comfort zone, and comfort zones can turn into traps. You can wake up one day and realize you've given 10 years to a man who was never going to be your husband. And by then you're older, you're tired, and you've got less time to find the one who will. So here's my advice. Stop being afraid to lose a man who's okay with losing you slowly. Stop being scared to walk away from something that's not giving you what you want. Set your standard and stick to it. A man who really loves you will meet it. A man who doesn't will fall away. And you'll be better off because you'll have made space for the man who's ready to choose you completely. The bottom line is simple. If a man loves you but won't marry you, you don't need to spend years trying to decode it. You already have the answer. The real question is, what are you going to do with it?